So for this video, I just wanted to go over the project overview for the McDonald's program. This is all going to be in reference to our 2.4 scope of work. We've had a few different types of scope of work for this program, so this is going to be our main one moving forward, though we will have some others that will require separate videos. So for this particular scope, we're going to be looking at doing a floor plan, and we're also going to do the RCP. We're going to have exterior elevations and a basic site plan. We are not going to be doing a roof plan, even though we have the exterior elevations. So for the floor plan, this is going to include the entire area. And then we also have the special section for back of house. This ultimately becomes our kitchen plan, and these are the items that we need to locate that are specific to the kitchen. Anything that you see on our scope of work that is indicated as located must have a tolerance within 1 inch and must be measured on site. Anything that you see illustrated, those are items that can potentially be placed from photos or just have very rough measurements, as the tolerance for these items are within 6 inches. So as you see, all these illustrated items such as room names, of course, any freestanding display, restroom fixture and partitions, even storage, washing machine and things like that. These are all items that if during the QA process we see that they look a little off, we can make the adjustment as we have that tolerance level. The RCP is going to be for all areas that we measure. The only exception to this for the RCP is inside the freezer and refrigerating units. We are not going to need any RCP or information of those or in those units at all. And our exterior elevations, things that are located, are what we're going to gather from basically the floor plan already, and then the things that are illustrated are going to be the roof heights and things that we would want the roof plan for. Even downspouts, we're only showing those if we see them on the building, and even then we're not really measuring. We'll place those from photos. Now the site plan is going to be a little different than a typical site plan. We're only going to be doing a site plan that applies to 15 feet of the building. This means a 15-foot perimeter around the building is all we're going to place on site, and that basically is going to mean just the sidewalk and curb that surround the building. In a sec, we'll go over to the CAD template and I'll be able to show you examples of each of these plans. And then the photos. There's going to be the 360 virtual tour, which we create the tour in-house, but the 360 photos are taken on site by the surveyor. And then we have still photos. Still photos are not going to give us our full QA walkthrough. It's not going to actually give us a QA walkthrough at all. These photos are only going to be of MEP items, such as major elect panels. The thermostats are a specific request. They are going to get photos on the roof, and they'd also get still photos of the HVAC units along with their tags and information. And then when it comes to grills and the manufacturer, gas or electric, that's just, again, another client-specific photo that they're going to want. So the still photos are only for specific things, where the actual walkthrough and the photos we'll do the QA on come from the 360 virtual tour. So now let's go ahead and look at our CAD template. So this is the template that the surveyor is going to give us. I've placed a sample plan down here, but ideally the surveyor should be drawing their finished product down here, and then they have the sample plan to reference up here as well. We also have our McDonald's blocks, standard blocks, kitchen-related blocks, as well as just some elevation blocks, elevation samples. This is to help surveyors gather these different angles that are in typical roofs. Since we're not doing a roof plan, we're going to rely on these quite heavily. And then you'll see we have our site plan. So our site plan, these DIMs are going to be specific to the CAD setup, which is in a different video, but this is ideally what's going to be visible once we go to deliver this to our client. So again, our 15-foot perimeter pretty much just covers this curb line, and from sat images, we've placed in just the basic drive-through lane. The surveyor on site is not really going to have to measure this. We can just pull this from a satellite image. The other thing we'll want to make sure that we're picking up, since it is within our curb line here, is the order speaker as well as the menu box. We'll also pick up the transformer and any major elect panels or things that we see. If there's a grease interceptor that's visible on the exterior within our 15 feet, we will go ahead and place that. Same with a turf line. In this case, that should be a post. For our floor plan is going to be pretty generic, just your basic floor items, walls, windows, doors. We are going to pick up the dining room furniture as well as the POS cabinets and things like that. The dining room furniture, again, is illustrated, so if it looks a little off, we can make those changes ourselves in-house just using photos. We will show the main elect, and that's really it. A pretty basic floor plan, nothing special. Our kitchen plan is going to be all that back of house stuff that we've seen. So anything back here in the storage, dishwasher machine, these things are pretty much illustrated. We don't really have to place them 100% on site. We would just grab rough measurements, or even like these bun carts placed from photos. Everything in this main cooking area, though, all this stuff needs to be located, except for things that are on top of counters, which we go into depth of that on the kitchen QA video. But ideally, all of these should be located within that 1-inch tolerance. Same with the drink station on the outside customer access. For our reflected ceiling plan, for the RCP, we are picking up everything RCP related. There is no exception. So if there's grid, if there's outlets in here, we're going to pick up all that information, and we definitely want to look at the grid, make sure that it's placed correctly and items within the grid are accurately placed and correct. So that'll be the full RCP for everywhere, except for, you'll see here, our sample does have RCP in the refrigerator and freezer. In practice, though, we are not going to need that information, so this would just get deleted out. Our elevations are also just basic elevations. This hatching can be done in-house for just basic hatches, making sure that things are labeled, and then we would check the alignment of walls, windows, and doors to the floor plan. So that's pretty much everything that we're going to be picking up for this McDonald's program. If you have any questions, reach out to the CAD manager or project manager, and we'll get you the help you need. Thank you.